Hi, welcome back to the Ekklesia, where we are the called out talking about the chosen. I guess that's going to be our byline because we're using that twice. And this is episode 2, where we are continuing our look at what is the pilot, the Christmas story called The Shepherd. In the previous episode, we talked about that shepherd character and why that resonated with us. And being the main character and being the title character, there wasn't a whole lot of other characters in it. Everybody else was bit players. But let's come back to the story itself. It's about a 20-minute, 21-minute film, whatever it is. But to me, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was loaded with what I thought were very interesting, well-told moments that really unpacked the Christmas story in a very fresh way. And so I like that. What moment or moments stood out for you guys?
From an artistic standpoint, I loved the moment the angel showed up. And we don't hear, "For behold, I bring you great news," but the light, and then the narrative is running in the back of my own head because I've heard it 1,000 times, and I can watch the faces of the shepherds respond to this whole, okay, I'm hiding, all those. So hearing that in my head.
You see that light piece, right?
And watching it. I thought that was, artistically, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought those were aliens.
Well, he's not familiar with the story.
It probably did save a little money on the budget.
Oh, absolutely.
We didn't have to do the angel piece, right?
I think had to do a light. Yeah.
Can I say but from a craft
artistically, it was good.
From a craft standpoint, that was really
I
great.
can't wait. Are they going to show the angel?
I know, yeah.
I said that for a minute, like, okay, that's.
And are they going to sing or just say it?
Yeah,
I loved
that was
it.
good. That was really good. So
Loved it.
I liked it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, beside the priest thing that got me, the other part that made me cry is when the shepherd was handed the baby.
Oh yeah.
Because then in the back of my head is running, Mary, did you know? And you're looking in the face of God. Here I go again. Because again, this guy had been searching. I'm sorry. And when he's looking, and I'm like, you're looking at the face of God and you know that. And that was such a powerful moment of, you hear it in song or you read it, but to see it, I guess I'm a visual learner. So for me, what this series is doing, I think, is probably what a trip to the Holy Land does to a lot of people, where to be here and to step where he stepped and see what he saw or whatever, and to help me when I study. I think that's kind of what The Chosen is doing. It's all this stuff that I've known since a kid, but to see it played out in front of me of how it may have really looked and how Jesus would have interacted with people, or Mary and Joseph with the baby, because she even notices, in the midst of having this baby, that the shepherd is hurt, And again, this rich storytelling of, let me give you some of his cloth to cover your blemish. I was like,
cool. That's awesome.
So I just had lost it through that whole thing, because I think in that moment, the shepherd knew what he was holding. Yeah. And he had been looking and longing for it, and no one would give him the answer, and here he was holding it. The answer, not it, him.
Him, baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you weep? Did you watch the same thing she watched?
Because
I'm not seeing the emotion.
I'm the girl.
I'm going to have to exit this conversation, because if this keeps going,
it's going to keep up. I'm telling you.
I'm just not like deal.
Richard weeps all the time. It's embarrassing.
No. Y'all hard-hearted people.
The bottom line for me was the recognition of the presence that he was in. He already knew something was up when he saw the light. And I don't know what was told to those dudes, but it got them running toward the barn.
It did.
And immediately, Scripture says.
And then, to be honest with you, I thought I was watching a scene from Forrest Gump. The whole time he can't barely walk during the thing, and then he starts getting up going, and I'm run, shepherd, run!
But they didn't have to tell him to stop.
Gets rid of his crutch. He's like sprinting in there, so obviously he knew he had already been healed. That was a good day.
Phenomenal. It's a good day.
But his arm was still bleeding.
But again, from an artistic standpoint, the communication of the level of faith held by the shepherds, because artistically speaking, while they're getting the message, Mary still hasn't delivered yet. I don't know, but I don't know what the chronology was in reality. But what a faith story that is. We're going because we told, and the baby's not even here yet.
Yeah.
It's like throwing the ball to an open spot. The receivers are going to be there. Yeah.
And I love the tease that they threw into. Again, it's just good storytelling. I love the tease where he's talked to the priest, and the priest has kind of rejected him and his lamb, and get you and your dumb little sheep out of here, and
or we're going to cast you out of the city, or
walking
something.
Back through, and he bumps into
Mary,
Joseph and Mary, and they have this little conversation where Joseph asks for directions, you know, and that whole, you know, where so again, this guy's been dumped on, but he's still willing to help. And then, oh wait, and he gives Mary the water.
Yeah, because, but even that, the shepherd, extraordinary guy, he's broken, he's been rejected, he's been dogged on. Joseph asks him for directions to a well so they can go get something to drink. Yeah. And this broken guy goes, it's over there, but here.
Here.
How cool is that? That's just...
I mean, that's fantastic storytelling, right? I mean, that's, and again, just teasing what, you know, what's going to happen and what's going to come. I thought that was huge. I mean, to me, that was a big deal. And so...
and then when the shepherds enter, when Joseph doesn't know what's going on, but because of the encounter,
that's a giveaway, right?
Oh, I know you. Yeah, come on in.
Paving the way for the shepherds to come in
Right.
again. And that's that between the lines storytelling that I think is so powerful.
Agreed.
That they do.
I mean, the big takeaway from me is...
Well, we're doing takeaways yet. That's next episode.
Oh, next episode
Yeah, dude.
takeaway? All right, then
But
I'll
you
stick
really
with,
need to watch the same show we're watching.
I think that,
I like to call
I'll
it saying
stick
this.
with Forrest Gump. I think I've made myself known I watched it.
Richard doesn't cry when he watches the episode, but he cries in between takes of these things.
Right.
As we abuse it.
Yes,
I went like, how much more?
well, to me, I mean, I thought the moment so tied into some of the things you guys said. This guy's a searcher, right? I mean, he is.
Yes.
He is not going to let this thing go, right? And I think I admire that about the way they created the character, because he's going to talk to that guy when he's inspecting the lamb, and he knows he's getting ready to get rejected. He knows that, right? Anybody with a brain knows that lamb ain't going to cut it. We knew that from the very opening credits, and then, but then to come off of that, you know, and not to be so crushed by that, you know, get lost and you show up when you have an unblemished lamb, but then to come back and then sneak into, you know, the reading of the Torah and to stay there and then drip all over the floor and then they kick you out of there too. I mean, you know, and then to walk out and bump into this couple that needs help. I mean, just this is a guy who was just primed and ready. And I think you used the word in the last episode, holding on to hope. I mean, that is that thing, right? I mean, because I think there was a piece of me as I was watching that it dawned on me that, you know, we're all kind of like that, right? Because I mean, we're all know we're blemished and broken. But there is also that moment where we hold on to hope. And so
That almost sounds like a takeaway.
that's a powerful.
Yeah, I know. He's getting into my takeaway.
I'm doing it because I know you're going to come back and steal it in a minute.
Yeah, you're trying to get ahead of my takeaway.
So we cut you off.
That's the moment.
So my takeaway was that
Now, as far
get
as
your
I'm
takeaway on
concerned-
the table now,
as far as I'm
buddy.
concerned, Richard can cry about it all he wants. But we're going to come back in the next episode and talk more about episode 1 of The Chosen. So we are the called out talking about The Chosen. We'll see you next time.